Hi all, here we're into the cable woodshop with all the tips and hints that you need to know to make sure you're getting this one done absolutely perfectly. There are 3 key points that we're going to go through as well, so stay tuned for those. Hope it helps. Okay, firstly, if you are brand new to exercise, then start with things like the plank and start with the bird dog. These are great for stabilization of your core and of your trunk, and of course the bird dog, there's some movement there as well, so that really begins to activate those potentially dormant muscles that are sitting in your core and in your trunk. And then over the course of a couple of weeks, as you're feeling more confident, then you can begin to add in something like the woodshop, which is a dynamic core exercise. And as you can see, it's a rotational movement, so you can imagine that we spend pretty much our whole day twisting and turning. That's not even picking up things, we just constantly move, twist, turn, bend. So doing something like a woodshop is a great way to replicate that day-to-day movement, to make sure we're getting that strength through our core in a movement pattern. And then of course, if you're picking up the kids or picking up boxes, then being able to twist and turn and generate force and control that force is absolutely key to having a pain-free body. So I see lots of people that end up with problems with things like back pain and problems with discs as well. So we all know if we stabilize and strengthen our core at the start, and then we begin to add in a movement pattern such as the woodshop, that's a great place to be in to make sure that your back, your core and your trunk are working in a pain-free way. Right, just a couple of points to start. We either work low to high or we work high to low, and you can do that in one session, or you can do that over the course of a week. So on a Monday you might work your high to low, and on a Wednesday you might work your low to high. Just make sure that you get the balance in across the course of a week or so. And you can see here that Emily's standing to the right of the cable. Make sure that whatever you do on the right hand side, you also step to the opposite side of the cable machine and do exactly the same on that side as well. So we get a balance of high to low, and of course we work on the right hand side and we work on the left hand side as well, because it's easy just to do the one side and forget about the opposite side. So make sure we are getting that nice balance in over the course of a week. Okay, into key point 1, and this one will take some time to get. This is not you pulling as hard as you can from your shoulders and from your back. Imagine trying to move that cable by rotating your belly button around, so create a little brace on your stomach, and as you begin to move, twist with the belly button, twist with the core, and imagine pulling from your core. And at first you'll feel absolutely nothing, but as the weeks go by, you'll get better and better at, inverted commas, feeling the movement through your core and through your trunk, and that is your goal. But don't panic if at the first don't panic that if at first you feel nothing. It will gradually come with time, but always think to yourself, can I move that cable via my core, and my shoulders and my back are just secondary to that movement pattern. So it's all through the core and it's all through the trunk. Okay, key point 2, your muscles are working all the time. So if Emily just stands there and just holds that cable, muscles are working. When she pulls it across her body, of course muscles are working. But the key point here is when you return that cable back to that starting point, the muscles are working. So it's absolutely crucial you put as much effort into controlling that weight back to the cable stack than you did pulling that cable up in the first place. Okay, so muscles are always working. Okay, so the best way to do it, if you watch here, Emily pulls that cable on about a count of 1 to 2, but she controls it back and on a nice count of 2. So key point 2, control that weight back to the stack using your core muscles. So if you thought about the first key point was to move the cable via your core, this one, control it back via your trunk and via your core. Again, that takes time to get, but that is your goal. It's always control the movement, and on this one, control it back via your core and via your trunk. Key point 3, we keep our arms reasonably straight throughout the exercise. So we don't want our elbows out, locked out. but we do want our arms out reasonably straight in front of the body, and we sort of keep that so we create almost like an arc type shape as we pull that cable up and as we control that weight back down as well. The easiest way to do it is just to start with your arms out in front of your chest and then begin the exercise, and that will generally keep your arms in that perfect place. So key point 1, it's all through the core and it's all through the trunk. Key point 2, return that cable back to your starting point with control. And key point 3, keep those arms out in front of you. And then just a couple of add-ons. The first one is have a shoulder width stance, because when you're going to go into a movement based workout, you want to have a nice stable base. Okay, so having that shoulder width stance gives you a stable base where you can control the movement, but also a stable base allows you to generate force, and that's key. So have a comfortable stance, but think roundabout shoulder width stance is perfect. And then you can see that Emily's knees are just a little bit loose, so she's not standing there locked out knees and rigid. Just have your knees a little bit bent in just what we call loose knees. And then just in terms of the height of the cable, that you can see here that the cable's right down at the bottom notch here and right up at the top one. They don't have to be up or down fully. You can rotate or you can mix the positions around of the cable, because they'll all begin to stimulate you and challenge you in slightly different ways. So adjust those heights of those cables, but as I said at the start, just make sure that you've got a nice balance between the number of sets and reps you do at different heights, and whether that's on your right and whether that's on your left hand side. And there's your wood chop. Let's whiz through a recap. If you're brand new to exercise, start with things like the plank and the bird dog, and then gradually begin to introduce the wood chop. The key points, remember, we're going to pull and control through our trunk. We can control that cable back to the starting point, and we have our arms out in front of us reasonably straight. And of course, again, we have that shoulder width stance in our feet to make sure that we have a nice stable base to work from. And there it is. That is your wood chop. I do hope it helps, of course. Have fun, take care, and catch up soon. Cheers, bye.